Welcome back to Daybreak Extra, and now we are on to the discussion segment. We'll be talking about Breast Cancer Awareness Month, like debunking common misconceptions, myths, and facts in Nigeria. Breast cancer remains one of the leading health challenges among women worldwide, and Nigeria is no exception at all. Yet beyond the medical facts, there are countless myths and misconceptions that often prevent people from seeking help early or even understanding their risk. From beliefs that breast cancer only affects older women to the assumption that it is always a death sentence, these misconceptions can be very dangerous. As we mark Breast Cancer Awareness Month, it is important to separate fact from fiction and empower Nigerians with the right knowledge that could save lives. So joining us today, we have with us to expand on this discussion, Ummi Musa Umar. She's a radiotherapist and a call of cancer advocate. You're welcome to this program, Ummi. Welcome to Daybreak Extra.
Thank you for joining us. I mean, you're already repping, you know, the Cancer Awareness Month. You're pink, and you know, it's just a coincidence, actually. You know, but it's
I am glad
played.
it happened that you're wearing pink. Because we take the color code thing very important in the cancer
throughout
space.
the month, right?
Yes,
Is that true? So people have to, women have to wear a touch of pink somehow.
Yes, even the men should show some solidarity and be wearing pink for this month.
Yeah. Okay. Now, certainly. October is a Breast Cancer Awareness Month. What do you think are the most critical areas Nigerians need to understand better about breast cancer?
Okay, so I think, yes, I'm glad that you didn't say women, you said Nigerians, because no matter what a woman does, men will always be involved. Even though breast cancer affects women, and just 1% of men are affected, because men actually do have breast cancer, but just 1%. But then the woman cannot handle it alone. We have seen breast cancer patients that give up on treatment, and we lose them because they didn't have that support system, and that support system must include men. So when we are fighting this, we need to know that it is not just women that should be fighting breast cancer, and it's not just advocates that should be fighting breast cancer. I think at the rate at which the statistics is skyrocketing and staggering now, it is everybody's fight. I always see as an advocate that you don't have to be a healthcare worker, because there's no one that would see cancer, how it affects women, whether breast or any part of the body. Whether for men, prostate affects men too, and other cancers, and they don't feel like it's their duty to do something if they can. So one of the things that I think is the low-hanging fruit is advocacy. Let's talk about it. Let us be able to educate the populace so that they understand the difference between myths and misconceptions, just what you mentioned now. Because it's very important for people to know that those myths are really doing a disservice when we're talking about these things. When you say that cancer is a death sentence, that is not true, because it's not. We need to understand that early detection is what we are trying to teach, and it's what we are trying to advocate for. When women go to hospital early, this thing is seen early, it can be treated, and the women survive. So, but we need to understand that for early detection to happen, women just don't need to sit around at home and wait until maybe the pain is unbearable, and then you go to the hospital because you are scared at first, saying, "Oh, let me give it time and see if it's something that will disappear, or if it's something, let me pray over it." Even when she's feeling something in her own breasts, women need to understand that early detection is very important. That's what separates the cancer statistics here in low middle income countries and the advanced countries. They have cancer too, even maybe more than us, but they survive it. But it's seen as a death sentence here because women don't present to hospital until when it's advanced. So October is all about advocating for early detection. Women need to understand that we need to check. We don't sit around and wait for these things to happen, because most times if you wait for symptoms to show and you still wait to see if a miracle is going to happen, by that time it's too late.
Yeah. So I love the fact that you said, you know, low-income countries and even the advanced ones too, because cancer is everywhere. It's not about whether you're poor or rich or which country is developed or underdeveloped. But then in Nigeria, the enlightenment is a bit lower than we expected. That's why a lot of people don't even know they have it. But then mostly people have this belief that breast cancer usually affects the older women. How true is that?
So I think that is also something that we could say is a myth, because when it comes to cancer, there's no age limit. Age is not a... Well, yes, as a woman is growing older, that is when maybe we tend to be more conscious of our health, because maybe the age would have something to do with how we perceive things, and we're getting more responsible. But now, especially from the Nigerian Cancer Society Youth Coalition, we are trying to see how young people are a part of this movement, because young people actually do get cancer. We have a lot of young people now in their 20s, 30s battling breast cancer. I am currently treating someone that has bilateral breast cancer, both of her breasts, and it is advanced to her spine. So now it's the spine that we are treating. So we are even not touching the breasts for now. She's in her 30s. And when you ask her, I did ask her, do you have a family history? Because that's one of the myths we usually believe, you know, that it's inherited.
Hereditary,
She said, no one in her family had it.
No, it's...
For hers, it's not. So, yes, the hereditary factor is there, but I think we shouldn't dwell on it too much, because it is surprising to see that a lot of patients now don't have any family history. But at a very young age, they develop cancer because of some lifestyle factors that predispose us to the risk. And the populace, unfortunately, don't know about. It is part of the things that we are advocating at my NGO, Call of Cancer Initiative.
So you said factors that, you know, disposes people. What are those factors that disposes people? Like if you're mentioning this lady doesn't have a history, you know, family background that's good, you know, she could have inherited the cancer, you know, from. So what are those factors that people should?
So there are factors that we say are modifiable factors. Those are the lifestyle factors. For example, someone that doesn't exercise, is usually sedentary, can stay on the seat for the whole day, you know, without any exercise, without moving their body. That is very, very risky, and it generally exposes us to the risk of developing cancer. Secondly, what we eat, what you give your body, you know, what we put in our body is not something that we should overlook, because a lot of this unhealthy kind of diet that is trending right now, fast food, something that you cook quickly, preserved and over-preserved things that can stay on the shelf for years and they don't expire. What preserves them to that extent? You know, there was a saying that I saw that most of these things, all this fast food that are now trending and what they are increasing the statistics of cancer occurrence. Even if you drop it here and come back after 2 days, they don't expire and they don't spoil. So even the worms don't want it. Why would you want it? You know, a lot of these things are preserved, and that preservation is not good for us. Good and healthy food, when you keep it, give it 24 hours, it should spoil. So let's talk about natural food, what we cook by ourselves at home. Veggies, fruits, you know, and instead of carbonated drinks that have things that you don't know, sweeteners and all, we stick to healthy drinks, fruits, you know, fruit drinks and water. I think a lot of these things that we are taking lightly and exposing our younger ones to it. Now, a baby starts eating and the first thing he's introduced to is maybe noodles. You know, it's not the same. So we keep saying, why is the statistics skyrocketing? What is happening? It's in our lifestyle factors that we need to keep checking. And there are also the unmodifiable factors that we cannot help with. That is the hereditary factor, for example. Hereditary factor is when, for a woman, her maternal aunt or mom has had breast cancer. So there is a high chance that, you know, the girls in the family from the maternal side would also develop breast cancer, maybe in their lifetime. So like in the advanced countries now, they know about the BRCA gene, because that's the gene that is usually responsible for this. So they have a way of testing for it, you know. It's very expensive even there, and even here, maybe I would say unaffordable. But if a woman knows that maybe my mom had it, her sister had it, you know, or two of her sisters, my sister had it, then it is something that, like in the advanced world, you know, they have insurance, so they can be able to, they don't have to pay out of pocket to do these things. They could go for the test. We have seen celebrities that went and removed their breasts, you know, even before it happened.
You mentioned someone inheriting it from the maternal side. Why is it that way? What about the paternal side of the family?
So just the way that prostate cancer for men is mostly inherited from the paternal side,
wow.
you know, breast cancer is mostly, and ovarian is mostly, you know, inherited from the maternal side. Yes. So the only thing doesn't mean when the maternal, you know, side has breast cancer, the woman just needs to be more cautious, you know. If I screen every year, then maybe that lady can screen twice a year, you know, especially if there are lumps, even if they are not cancerous. We keep checking, we keep monitoring. The whole point is that we are not saying cancer should not happen, but when it happens, let it be detected early so it can be treated.
Okay. Yeah, so you made mention of, you know, 1% of men also experience breast cancer. What are the, you know, what are the things that they should look out for in case they find themselves in that? And we see for the women, you know, they take out the breast, especially because it's maybe, you know, beyond something that it can be repaired at that point. Is it the same for the men too? Okay,
so like for the men, it is usually hereditary when they develop breast cancer. When there is a very strong gene of breast cancer in the mother's side, even her sons, some may develop, especially there's something called gynecomastia. When men has breasts that are a little bigger than it should be, there is a chance if they have that kind of gene, they could develop it. We recently treated one man for breast cancer. And yes, for men, the treatment, of course, would be different from women because they don't actually have breasts. But it is usually the same. They undergo chemo, they undergo radiotherapy, and it is just 1% that happens like that, you know. So it is very, very negligible, but then it still happens, and people need to know about that. So that is one way that men should also support women when it comes to that.
So now what are the common symptoms of breast cancer women especially should look out for? You know, how do you start feeling, you understand that you might be very vulnerable and open to breast cancer, and how do you like understand the symptoms?
Okay, so one thing is, so we teach the symptoms and we also teach the screening methods, you know. So when women screen, there are two types of screening. There's the monthly breast self-examination that we encourage all women to be doing every month after their menstrual cycle, immediately after their menstruation ceases. They should stand in front of the window. The TV is everywhere on YouTube. The videos are all everywhere on YouTube. Yeah. If you need some guidance, or on our pages, you can go to Call of Cancer Initiative page. So she stands, use the left hand to examine the right, use the right hand to examine the left. If you are touching and understanding how your breast is every month, there's no way something will go different and you don't notice. So we need to be consistent with it. I was at the World Cancer Congress last year talking to someone that is a specialist at that, he was showing us the statistics of how cancer is going to rise in low middle income countries, and it's scary. And I asked him, I said, most of our women here in low and middle income countries can't actually even afford screening, and we don't have universal health coverage for that. And he says yes, that in his own research, they always think that breast self-examination is the best bet for our kind of countries, you know. So women should understand to be checking. So if you feel any lump, any hardness, any flakiness, and any discharge from the nipples, any pain or tenderness, because at that time after your period, your breast shouldn't be tender. Any tenderness, anything different that wasn't there before, and mind you, including under the armpit is also part of the breast. So anything like that should make you not panic, but go to the hospital and have a clinician check for you to confirm what you felt. Because if you feel it at that time, then it's probably early, and maybe just surgery is enough. You don't have to go through all the trouble of chemo, radiation. Early detection is key. And a lot of women that find it by themselves early have been treated successfully.
My question is different, but then you just mentioned something that actually got me curious a bit. For women that actually have probably dictated lumps on their breast, is there a possibility of them developing breast cancer much later in the future?
So the most common symptom of breast cancer is lump. So if there is a lump, it can be malignant, it can be benign. Benign means it's not cancerous, it's just a growth. So it's common too, but then it needs to be monitored, because a benign lump can turn cancerous later in life. Or it can actually be that it's not detected, but it's actually cancerous. So sometimes a biopsy is done. They take a sample from that using just a needle, go test it and confirm. And then they still ask you to follow up, especially if there's a family history involved. So you keep following up. And then mammography, breast ultrasound, depending on the woman's age. Yeah.
Okay, so to my main question, many people actually fear radiotherapy. Is it because it's too dangerous, or does it make the cancer even more worse? And how safe is it?
Okay, so as a radiotherapist, I can categorically tell you that yes, radiotherapy has its side effects, but the benefits outweighs the risk for a cancer patient. Cancer patients, lots of cancer, different forms of cancer, need radiation as a major part of the treatment, apart from surgery and chemotherapy. And yes, while we do it, we try to protect the patient and also protect ourselves from the harm of radiation. So of course, it's only the area that needs to be irradiated that gets the radiation. And after that, the body has a very outstanding way of repairing itself, especially the healthy cells. They can repair themselves. So, but the cancer cells, once radiation hits them, they cannot repair again. So that is how the technique by which radiation treats cancerous tumors.
So does it make it worse, or it makes it?
There's no way to make it worse. It is part of the treatment, so it doesn't make it worse. The side effect is also temporary. After the treatment, the body repairs itself as long as it is done with precision.
So what's the difference of the radiotherapy with chemotherapy?
Chemotherapy is actually drugs that are given intravenously, but radiotherapy is something we call a linear accelerator, which is a very big machine that cancer patients are put in and they get irradiated.
Okay. Nigeria is a low middle income country, and so to say, what treatment options are available for breast cancer patients in Nigeria as that? As a surgery or chemo or radiotherapy, hormonal therapy, and as a radiotherapist, can you explain how radiation therapy fits into breast cancer treatment plans in Nigeria? Because there was some time ago that you were mentioning that we do not have enough machines and resources to take care of cancer patients in Nigeria.
Yes. So yes, all the options you mentioned are also at all treatment modalities of almost all forms of cancer, but it depends on which part of the body we're treating. Specifically for breast cancer, all those you mentioned are part of the regimen, but then it also depends on the stage of the cancer. There are breast cancer patients that actually don't need radiotherapy. There are breast cancer patients that go for only lumpectomy, where the whole breast, the breast is preserved, only the tumor is taken out, depending on the stage and whether it is detected early. So radiotherapy plays a very vital role in breast cancer treatment. Once the lump is seen, a biopsy is taken, and after that it's confirmed that it's cancerous, either complete mastectomy where the breast is taken out, or the lumpectomy where the lump is taken out. And after that, the patient may take chemo before and after, or after the surgery, and the last thing they do is radiotherapy. Then they keep following up. So radiotherapy is a vital treatment modality, and also yes, we will always need more and more radiotherapy machines, because as per statistics, every population of 1 million people should have one linear accelerator. So in our country, we have about maybe 10 to 15, and that is grossly inadequate. Yes, yes.
Let's talk about Pink October. What is the significance? There's a walk every year around October by this time. Today is the walk, right? So what is the significance of this walk, and why is it called Pink October?
Okay, so yes, pink is the color, because pink signifies, womanhood.
Yeah. So
pink is the color used to advocate for breast cancer, and the month of October is globally called Pinktober, So it's the month where the cancer, that is the cancer that kills women the most globally.
October.
Breast cancer.
Yes.
So of course October is a special month that the whole world turned pink. To advocate for breast cancer, to advocate for early detection, to support women that are going through cancer. There are something we call previvors, women that have maternal aunts, moms, had breast cancer. Maybe they're even sure they have the BRCA gene, and they are also supported in that month. And months that we have policy roundtables, talk about breast cancer treatment, financial toxicity, side effects, the hardship, the pain, everything that comes with cancer and its treatment. We talk about it in different events. I'm going to another one now. So it happens the whole of the month, and it's just not just in Nigeria or Africa. It is globally. In fact, if you see the outside world, October is a big deal, and it's also a big deal now here. I'm happy that everyone is joining the movement, because I think breast cancer, on statistics in Nigeria, kills about 30 or even over women per day.
Per day?
Yeah. So it's something that really need a lot of noise.
Definitely, because it's taking away women. You know, and it's actually really deadly. But then, is it true that, you know, women who never had children or, you know, or breastfed late are at risk of breast cancer?
Yeah, so one thing, yes, breastfeeding helps a lot with breast cancer. You know, women that have breastfed, especially multiple times, you know, their risk of breast or ovarian cancer reduces drastically. So of course we encourage breastfeeding. It's not just beneficial for the baby, it's also beneficial for the mother. Yeah, it's true.
So they are at risk for, so it means women that have never had children, they could be at risk of breast cancer.
Well, yeah, because breastfeeding reduces your risk. So of course, if you don't have, then your risk is just the same like it is. Nothing is reducing it. But especially there are other factors. So, you know, healthy eating, healthy lifestyle, exercising. There are also ways of reducing your risk. So there are other options too.
Aside the breastfeeding?
Yeah.
Okay. So, Ummi, looking ahead, what gives you hope about breast cancer outcomes in Nigeria?
Well, so I'm just coming from the National Stadium, and today 1,000 public servants are being screened for cancer.
Free?
Yes, free screening. Just the head of civil service is there, all the ministries are there. It gladdened my heart looking at it, because the momentum that is gathering. I think I saw about almost 10,000 public servants at the stadium right now.
Wow.
It's currently happening. So the momentum is building. You know, the public is now getting more and more aware. So we are hopeful that this is a testament that advocacy is working, and that people are getting more enlightened and they understand how this happens. Why? Because there's no one you talk to that have not seen someone suffer cancer. Maybe their relative, their loved one, or a friend, or someone they know, or heard of someone, and the kind of ordeal that comes with dealing with cancer. Because even if you have the money, you know, a lot of money that is needed to treat cancer, and you have the family support, you have the support system, it is still one of the most difficult things that you can think of, not just for the patient, but for the whole family. Then talk more of people, the indigents, that don't even have the money to treat it. They don't have access to treatment, they live in rural areas, and they are not aware, you know. The way that this thing is very hard is why everyone that hears or sees of someone going through cancer or hears about it, when they hear about advocacy, they will tell you they're in. So everyone is joining now the wagon, and we are advocating, and we are creating a lot of noise that is very good for us.
Yeah, so let me ask this question, you know, just randomly. After the breasts are removed, is it possible for, you know, people actually go for breast implants, you know, surgeries and what? Is it possible for women to actually regain back their breasts, maybe through breast implants and what have you, and the cancer wouldn't come back again?
Of course, yes. So before that surgery is done, you know, we call it reconstructive surgery. Of course, the woman has to be cleared. She has done her treatment and she's been followed up with, and it is safe for her to have that surgery. Then it's done, because everything we do at the hospital, you know, it's a multidisciplinary decision. Not just one person decides that, okay, you're ready, come and do it. Everyone clears you. Her oncologist clears her. Radiotherapy, she's done. You know, then her surgeon sees her, it's time, she's ready to take that. And of course, she can afford it, because as I always say, we don't have universal health coverage. So it's not everything that is covered, you know. So yes, so it is actually, yes, it is safe.
It's doable.
Yes, it is
and
doable.
Will not come back, because I know a lot of women may want to actually, for those that, like you said, the bilateral, both breast, and you know, it's taken out. So
yeah, of course. So, and it is encouraged, because if that is going to regain a woman's confidence, then why not?
Okay, now is it a myth that wearing tight bras, you know, women wearing tight bra causes cancer?
And I also add to people that wear bra to sleep.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, when women wear tight bras, or like she mentioned that wear bras to sleep, people like, you have cancer very soon. Just do not.
Or
do
they'll
that,
tell you
know.
have lumps because
You know,
you are wearing something
Is
tight.
it true, or is it just a myth?
So I think we talk about lymphatic drainage and blood supply. You know, lymphatics, the way they operate is that apart from the blood, there are other fluids going around the body and like cleansing the body. So when you wear something tight, you are restricting that flow. For both the blood and the lymphatics, for example, especially the lymphatic drainage. So that can be an issue because no part of your body wants to be tight for a long time. So at least let's go easy on that.
Yeah, you know, there are some busty women that do not have a choice.
But it doesn't do it to be tight.
Exactly.
Especially to sleep.
Exactly.
You know, it doesn't have to be tight.
Feel free.
I think, please, it is sometimes when you're at home, relax, remove it.
Yeah.
You know. And another thing is, the major thing is for us to understand. Do your breast self exam every month. If you can every year, go for mammography if you're above 40. Go for a breast ultrasound if you're lesser than 40. You know, and once you know that you have been screening and there's nothing that is seen, continuous screening is very important. But then yes, go easy on the breast.
Thank you so much, Ummi, for this session and for you to come here to pass this knowledge to people watching, because I know that a lot of people actually learn and they will take one or two things from this. Thank you so much.
It's my pleasure.
For your contribution. Well, that's Ummi Musa Umar. She's a radiotherapist and also an advocate, so thank you so much once again. Well, this is the much that we already have for you for the 2 hours of amazingness that we promised you, and we actually gave you that. You can't take it away from us, from the phone in to the newspaper review and also the discussion segment. And join us again from Monday up until Saturday as usual, every morning from 8 to 10 p.m. and on top of the hour, Adenich Adishafe will be bringing you sports news also. So I am Fatima Ahmed Musa, and stay safe out there.
And I am Maryam Idris. Have a nice day ahead.